The Dodgers have released their 26-man wild card roster, and we're going to talk about this. And I think there are some surprises to go on, right? First off, to mention Shohei Ohtani with his two-way status. Oh my God, he's a two-way player. What? He pitches and hits. What? Yeah, that guy, the unicorn, the 55 homer hitting man, the most in franchise history, 102 home runs, or whatever it is, 103 or whatever it is that he's hit as a Dodger. So, regardless, Shohei Ohtani is on the roster, but it doesn't count. So he does not count against the roster. Now, one of the biggest surprises is that Michael Conforto is not on the roster for this series at least. And you would think that with all the appearances they gave him, 486 batting appearances, then he would have been on the roster, right? Well, no, wrong. He is off the roster. He is a below average hitter. He had a 183 WRC plus. I think Haesung Kim or Tommy Edman had a 182, but regardless, he's in. But Michael Conforto is a below average hitter. He's a below average defender, and they need to stack that outfield. They need to make sure that this is going to be a stacked outfield, and they want to make room for Geektober. Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez is clutch in October. He's Geektober for a reason. He goes God mode in October. Now, one of the other surprises is looking at the pitching side. If you look on the roster on the screen here, you notice that Anthony Bonda is off the list, and so is Ben Kasperius. Now, Anthony Bonda had a over a 5 ERA in April, over about a 3.25 ERA in May, a 4 ERA in June, just about or higher than that. And then you look at July with Anthony Bonda, and he's got from July 1st until now, until September, he had like a 2.5 or 2.25 ERA, about a 3 ERA, and then back down to a 2.5 ERA. I think I've got those numbers correct. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that is crazy. That Anthony Bonda, who's been absolutely lights out, fantastic, you will not be hearing his Selena song that he came out to, his warm up or his walk up song. You know, you won't be hearing that. And Ben Kasperius, he struggled, but I think he would be perfect for the bullpen. But you look at the bullpen. Let's go to the bullpen. In the bullpen, what you have is 5 righties, 4 lefties. You got Sheehan, Sasaki, Edgardo Henriquez, Blake Trinan, and Tyler Glasnow. Yes, the Dodgers starting depth is so clutch this season, unlike last season, that they now have 5 of at least 2 to 3 of their starters in the bullpen. Now, you do notice that Clayton Kershaw is not on, right? And you're like, why? Well, Clayton Kershaw just started on Sunday. It would be too much to in his older years, in his time for retirement, to get him. I know he's retired, to get him into that bullpen, but he will most likely be on in the DS, possibly the CS. Now, for the lefties in the bullpen, you've got Alex Vesia, Tanner Scott, Jack Dreyer, and Alex Vesia. Now, the Reds are 26th out of 30 in all of Major League Baseball against left-handed pitchers. They are bad. They're slugging about 325 as a team against them. So I'm just surprised that they've got more righties than they do lefties. I'm surprised that Anthony Bonda is not on. And then, of course, you see them taking Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, Blake Snell will be starting tonight against Hunter Green. And then tomorrow you got, I think it's Jack Little. Little starting against Yamamoto. So that's key to mention those 11 pitchers, right? Now, if you look at the outfield, you got Alex Call and Justin Dean. That's the third biggest surprise there, is that you got Justin Dean there, someone who is a bit more agile, a bit more athletic than Michael Conforto, and he's got some defensive abilities, but he's only made a few starts for the Dodgers coming up from the minor leagues. But then you got Alex Call, and I think with Alex Call, maybe you don't trust the bat as much. He wasn't a great trade by the Dodgers, but maybe he can have a moment. It is very surprising though, but he can provide some defense. And you got Teoscar Hernandez and Andy Pages. I think the way you would organize that is you would have maybe Andy Pages in center, Teoscar Hernandez in right field, and then maybe Kike in left field. That's kind of how I would do it. And then Alex Con, Justin Dean, maybe a late game defensive change. Maybe you're getting blown out, so why not bring them out? Or you're blowing out the Reds, the Dodgers, and you still bring them out to just give the starter some rest. Now looking at the infielders, outfielders, you got Kim Hernandez and Tommy Edman. Now, Tommy Edman can play center, he can play short, he can play, I think he can even play a bit of right or left, but left field, I'm saying, but he could play second, center, and short. So let's say that Betts is having a Gavin Lux type sucky time at short. Hopefully not. Let me knock on some wood. But if he is, you can bring in Rojas. You can bring in someone like Hae-Sun Kim, or you can bring in Tommy Edman. Hae-Sun Kim is a clutch runner. Yeah, his 182 WRC plus is not that great, but you could still bring him in. He did hit a home run yesterday, so I think that's why they're going off of the amped up version of Hae-Sun Kim, which is why he's in there. But that's the infield, outfield, and the outfield itself. And then, of course, you've got all the position players, right? So you've got the infielders. You got Mookie Betts, who will most likely be at short. You got Freddie Freeman, who will most likely be at first. Muncy at third. Miguel Rojas, who will probably end up being like a substitute at short or second, again in those later parts of the game. So I'm excited for this roster. I think it's a good combination that they put together for this Dodgers team. We will have to see how it'll go, but that is the Dodgers 26-man roster. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And also, the QR code here leads you to my YouTube channel, so scan that, and you guys will be able to go to this YouTube channel, and you guys will be able to see the content that we post. We are having a live stream tonight. Yes, we're having a live stream tonight, so be sure to join us at that time. All right, go Dodgers!